Welcome to Everyday Life. Thank you for joining our podcast, Conversations Over Coffee. My name is Jen.
And I'm Dagda.
And we're going to hit you with the explicit content warning right off the bat. This podcast does include adult situations and adult language from time to time.
I'm an angel. I never fucking cuss.
Okay. Anyways, you ready to go?
Oh, yeah.
All right, let's go.
Yeah. You're so mean. You never say yeah.
Told you before, my default answer is no.
No. No. It's becoming my default answer, but people are taking me being a bitch. Like, and I try to do it with like a stone face, like, no, I don't want to do it. And they just look at me and they're like, oh, I didn't know you were in that kind of mood today. And I'm like, I'm gonna do it. Doesn't mean I want to.
Yeah.
But that's part of what I signed up for, so I'm gonna do it. Just don't expect me to do it with a fucking smile.
Yeah.
That's one thing I can't stand. Smile. Just smile. He's soft. He's soft. I'm flying. I'll smile when I want to, not when somebody else dictates it to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
What was that actress's name? It was like
Faruka Bolt. Farusa. Oh, I don't know. Hot. That's what her name is.
Yeah.
She's showing her booby money, and I like it.
Whenever I hear her name, I think of the band Veruca Salt.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's not far off.
Yeah.
Although Veruca Salt was spoiled rotten brat.
Oh, really?
You don't know who that is?
Mm-mm.
Have you ever seen Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory? The original one with Gene Wilder.
Yeah.
Veruca. I want a golden goose, and I want one now, Daddy. She's a spoiled little bitch who goes down the goose hole.
Yeah.
That's Veruca Salt.
Okay.
You're today's years old when you just learned that.
I don't remember people's names, so remembering a fucking character that I don't care about his name is...
That was the most epic thing ever, though, when we were kids. So, I mean, obviously, we saw it many years after it came out.
Yeah.
But it was just like, you mean spoiled children get punished too?
Yeah.
I mean...
Well, at least they do it at the Chocolate Factory.
Yep. What was I... Oh, God. Yeah, that article we were reading about somebody getting harassed because they think a certain generation has just been led with laziness and complacency and enablement. And it's just like, yeah, I don't... It's funny. In real life, I can talk to them nicely. But sometimes when I listen to the excuses about how they're not lazy, they don't get paid enough money to do that. That was in the job description you were given before accepting the job. Inside my head, I'm like, ah!
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many times a month I hear that. Well, technically, that's not in my job description. You have a list at your station of 12 things you need to do in descending order of priority. Most priority, least priority. It's on that list that you signed paperwork when you signed your... But what? Yeah, it's funny. It's just absolutely funny. There is one person who has an excuse for why they can't do anything except for click buttons. And so they're pretty pissed because management's kind of like had it up to the gills with it.
Yeah.
And when we got employee complaints, and it was funny because I overheard 2 employees talking, and it wasn't like I was eavesdropping. That wasn't the situation at all. I literally was walking around just doing my thing, and I heard one employee say to the other, why does that individual even do anything? Why do they let that happen? But the individual is afraid because they're so new to the company that if word gets out that they complained, but management shares the information, that individual had actually complained to my counterpart manager for the night because they couldn't find me, and they were like, this is really frustrating that I'm doing all this work and they're doing nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's always one excuse after the other. And it's just like, ugh, I'm telling you, I don't know. I think every generation we go through laziness, but I also think that, you have that ability to change that and make yourself do stuff. It's okay to have lazy days. It's just not okay to have a lazy life.
Yeah. I think people in general are lazy. Animals in general are lazy.
we're like a bunch of lions. We want to fuck, eat, and sleep. That's it.
Yeah. And
or eat, fuck, sleep. One of those combinations.
yeah. And it's because of energy conservation, right? So your brain doesn't want you to expend too much energy because you might die.
I mean, maybe 100 years ago, but it's not like,
We're still animals, so you're not gonna get past that anytime soon.
yeah. I mean, I have very, like, when I'm at work, I'm as productive as I can be. Even on my lazy days, I'm as productive as I can be. You know, there was a day where I spent, of my 8-hour shift, I spent 5, not 1 or 2, not 3 or 4, 5+ hours dealing with customers because of one employee. Every time somebody came up to the individual, asked a question, I need a manager, I need a manager, I need a manager. And one of my production guys, we were kind of working a little bit in tandem. I don't like working around him. He's odorously bad. And, you know, that's just some people's life. So they start shaking their head and they're like, this is ridiculous. You guys never get anything done. And I'm like, well, you know, it makes it hard to hit goals when you're doing that. And they're like, that is at least the 50th call out since 10 o'clock this morning. And this call out that happened to be at least number 50 was 12:30. So it's, I don't know. I think we have people who are lazier than others in life.
Yeah.
But I think that everybody has the opportunity to have better days. I try, like, I worked on the office this weekend, yesterday for like 2 hours. And that was just like sweeping and picking up the old mat and putting the new mat down and all of that. But it was time to then go to that side of the office, to the north side of the office. And I was just like, yeah, I'm freaking done. Because it was just like every time I swept, I had to sweep again because it was just like more and more stuff here and there. So anyways, so how are you doing today?
I'm doing all right. How you doing?
I'm good. I took the opportunity and I went into, I guess the trend's called thrifting, where you go to a thrift or a secondhand store.
Okay.
So they call it thrifting. And I took an opportunity to do that for a couple hours this weekend, like hour and a half this weekend. I went somewhere and I found some good finds. You know how we're always telling people they should read more. I am going to tell people now, look into your local thrift stores. Most of them have tons of books. And, you know, sometimes you can buy, you know, like if you're a voracious reader and they have what you like, you can like get discounts for buying multiple books and all that kind of stuff. But I found some interesting things, I thought.
Okay.
Like, I'm super excited. I found a large print book of George R.R. Martin's A Game of Thrones, which I've already read 4 or 5 times. But I had borrowed the book from somebody. So I haven't had a copy to read in a while. So that was cool. So I'm excited about that. I got a brand new copy, as in there's not even a crack in the spine, brand new, of Twilight, which I've seen the movies 50 times, 50 times, at least 40.
Jesus Christ.
Shush up.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, there you go. So I got a brand new copy, and one of my coworkers was like, the book is nothing like the movie. The book's actually really good. So have you read it at all or listened to it at all?
Which one?
Twilight.
No.
By Stephanie Meyers.
No.
But you've listened to 50 Shades of Grey.
Yes, because of where I was working at the time.
Oh, so influenced by your surroundings?
I was like, well, people keep coming in asking about this book.
Yeah, so check it out and see what it's about.
Yeah.
And then my hot guy, Jeremy Renner, about his experience in his life. So I'm super excited about all those 3, especially the Twilight one, because, like I said, one of my coworkers was like, the movies and the actual book, it's only like 50% of what's really going on. So apparently it's so it sounds really interesting to me that this might be like how the reading the Hunger Games was for me. I'm hoping.
Okay.
I really enjoyed reading the Hunger Games, but reading Susan Collins' Hunger Games was a little bit of a hard read because you had to put yourself into an introverted, self-protected mind mode to understand. And there was a lot more sexuality happening in the actual books than the movies, so it was a little confusing. But the detail on the inner thoughts was great. So I'm hoping that's the same thing with this one.
Okay.
Not like the Maze Runner where I wanted to just punch the author because it sucked. Movies were so much better compared to what I'd experienced in the start of reading it.
What was the other series that came out around that same
Divergent?
time? Yeah.
I haven't read that one. I've heard mixed reviews about that as well. But that's kind of everything with books to movies. Everybody's got a mixed review on it.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because the people who give me book recommends, I'm about half and half with I'll like about half of what they like. So at least it gives me an opportunity. I did not find any Larry Correia when I was thrifting. I did not find any Jim Butcher, and I'm not surprised because he is muy en fuego. He's got books out there that are a super high value, depending on condition, because there's such limited prints. So we'll see if I get lucky.
Yeah.
See if I get lucky, because I eventually, one day when I get into more of a longer term, this is where we're going to stay longer term, like live situation. I want to be able to have my favorite series. I want to be able to have the Dresden Files and, the Odd Thomas series. Like, I want to have them all in hardback.
Yeah.
Because I love them that much. I love the feel of the paper. And I need them in hardback because, my eyes aren't, 15 anymore. But so when I was out thrifting, I found something. Have you heard of this?
What?
Yeah.
No, I'm not.
So there is a book series out here, out in the universe, written by Lucy Hawking and her dad, Stephen Hawking. And it's called, it's George's. It's the George series.
As in Curious George?
No, as in the kid George.
Okay. I thought it was, reading that, I thought it was Curious George.
No, I did too at first. And I thought, oh, wow. And then I went, Hawking, wait a minute. And at first I thought it was him and his ex-wife. And then I went, that's not her name. And I looked it up. It's actually his daughter. They wrote this. So there's a series of books. And the first in the series is called George's Secret Key to the Universe. And it is a book about a little bit of everything. It's got not philosophy, physics and theoretical physics in there. It talks about cosmology, astronomy, astrophysics, and other basic like universal principles.
Is it like a children's book about science, basically?
It is, but it's about half factual and then half sci-fi fantasy.
Okay.
Because it, based on what just the synopsis of it, it's about this kid who learns more about the world by going and exploring, which obviously we don't have children astronauts. Yeah. So the biggest critique of the book series was that depending on how young the reader might be, it might leave them with mixed understanding between fantasy and reality. Mm. So although it's, puts all these interesting principles out there that are actual physics and all of that, and it has some really interesting pictures in it, different planets and all that with some explanations. And of course, it's still, that's the biggest critique was that it probably should have been explained implicitly that these travels that George does to discover the secret keys to the universe were in his mind, is where he traveled as he learned. So other than that, but there are, like I said, holy shit, there's there's 6 of them in the series, I think. Mm. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you've got George's Secret Key to the Universe, George's Cosmic Treasure Hunt, George and the Big Bang, George and the Unbreakable something. I can't read my own handwriting.
Nice.
Right. Oh, the Unbreakable Code. I was just like, wait a minute. Look, I don't have any lights on because it's hotter than sin today. So I had to put it in the light. And it's like, oh, George and the Unbreakable Code. George and the Blue Moon. And George and the Ship of Time. So the whole idea of the book series is to teach kids about physics, real-world dynamic, applied theories, black hole, anything you can think of to do on the science realm with the theory of relativity, anything. That's what they aim to do, which is really cool. And I think it's good because, like I've always said, I love Stephen Hawking's ideology of life, energy, and balance. That you're never really gone. It's you are always matter whether you're corporeal or non-corporeal. And so it gives me comfort when we talk about death.
Yeah.
So I thought that was really cool. I've never seen that before, ever.
And never heard of it.
And so I'm kind of like, I was hoping maybe you had, like, you'd listen to it. Because I understand that it's a young adult book. You know, I understand that. But it just caught my eye. I was just like, who wouldn't be curious to read a dumbed down version of Hawking so you can understand it better, then move on to his real world applied sciences.
Yeah.
You know, but I thought it was it. I'm excited. But first I have to finish off the Butcher series that I'm listening to.
Yeah.
Which is it's so addictive. It's very difficult.
Yeah.
And I have this supposedly really weird work schedule that I'm getting ready to start. So it's really bad. But I'm like, I wonder if I'm still sick. Which I'm not. But my sinuses are also not 100%. I've been going through this for weeks and weeks and months now.
Yeah.
And now I've been dealing with 3 days of bloody nose. So that's exciting. I sneezed earlier when I was in the bathroom. And it was like, oh, okay, well, bloody nose time. Bloody nose time. Anyways. So yeah, since I'm enjoying audiobooks so much, I'm like, oh, I probably need to just look these up at the library and see if these are.
Yeah. Yeah, recently I listened to a series, it's like the Eternal Crusade or something like that. I don't remember.
Mm-hmm.
By C.J. Corellia, who, actually you have a book over there that was written by him, but it's a game book.
Oh, one of the Rifts books?
Yeah, the Nightbane.
Oh, really?
He wrote that, which was part of the reason why I wanted to listen to the series, was because it was by
the same person.
Yeah, and then this morning, actually, I was looking for more new books, and he had another series that was similar. It's another like lit RPG series, which I was very excited because he had a lit RPG. I read a series or part of a series from him that was like a military sci-fi series.
Okay.
Which was pretty interesting. It was about like humans getting introduced to the rest of the galaxy because there's a big community of aliens basically.
Mm-hmm.
And they have like teleportation technology, which is how they travel faster than light. But when most species do it, when they cross over between whatever place they start and they finish, they're like stunned for a while.
Okay.
And so like for like 30 seconds or something, they can't function.
Mm-hmm.
But humans don't have that problem.
Mm-hmm.
And so we have this massive advantage in combat, in space combat, where as soon as we come through the portal, we're ready.
Mm-hmm.
And so we take advantage of that basically.
Mm-hmm.
It was pretty interesting.
That is interesting because that sounds like a little bit like the Tomorrow War.
Mm.
Well, they're traveling through space, like time.
Yeah.
Not space, but the same thing where it's just like they know from their history records where they're going to pop up and to engage and all that kind of stuff. Anyways, yeah, it's really interesting because I have like after that big scare from my coworker being like, "Oh, David Marsters died," like I'm in a panic because I'm just like, "Shit, you can't fucking die before Butcher finishes the series," which is I think based on what he was looking at doing in total full books, I think he's got, 7 more to go? Because he wants to do 25 in total, not including any side stories or anything else.
Yeah.
He said 24 or 25, and it's just like...
a big trilogy to finish.
Yeah, and it's just like, I haven't even read when the next book might be out, It's
I mean, the little novella Outlaw is out.
Yeah, trust me, I'm 18th in line to listen to it when I can.
And because it's Outlaw, I kept mistaking it for The Law.
Yeah, which is
another one
on the files.
Yeah, which has been out for a while. That one, the audio, that's the one that he reads.
That Jim reads.
Yeah.
I'm excited, but I'm not getting to it until I get to it in the order it's on that drive.
Yeah, I mean, that one's in between...
Battlegrounds and 12 Months?
Yes.
Perfect. Yeah, I'm like, think, if I'm remembering the story correctly, I'm about halfway through Skin Game right now. And, my favorite thing is just once you hear these characters as they're read, you can't unhear it. And one of my favorite voices that he's done for this series is Lacuna.
Oh, yeah.
Because I don't know how he did that. I'm like, that's amazing how I think I know how he did it, but how he got that high of a pitch with a slight reverberation is just like heaven to me. And what's funny is even though I heard Lacuna a little differently in my head, the deadpan delivery is dead on what I expected. I will fight them now. I really, really love it when he's just like this thing in my head killing me. Would you like me to take off your skull and check, my lord?
Yeah.
Just so deadpan. Would you like me to take your skull off and I will check for you?
Yeah.
What? No, why not? You're not taking anybody's skull off. Just that little banter too, you get where he's like celery breath and she's like, ah! But it's just that high pitch, a little bit of reverb, and it's so great because it is the polar opposite of toot.
Yeah.
Which I don't give a crap who you are. Ain't nobody gonna do better than James Marsters doing toot toot.
Yeah.
But I am hearing, like, you can hear the little bit of fatigue for him when you're listening to audiobooks. You can almost hear the fatigue where it's like been too long between certain characters talking, because. Well, or maybe it's the evolution of the characters, because in Skin Game, Butter's fixing up, of course, at the beginning, through and through shot, and he's been shot, whatever, and he's just like, you're not listening to me, and Dresden's kind of doing his thing, and Butters is explaining to him, you've been gone for a fucking year, bro. You've been gone for a year, and we've been here picking up and holding the pieces, and this is what happened when you were technically dead. So, you're talking about a year and a half span of time, right? Between ghost stories and cold days and then heading into Skin Game. And, and then I just got done listening to, before you got, hello, I just got done listening to Michael Carpenter pretty much telling Dresden, like, dude, like, you're not all that in a bag of chips. You're not infallible. You're like the rest of us humans. And it's just like, dude, you can't sit there and say, this is all my burden and this is all my fault, because you're not.
Yeah.
And so anyways, it's great. But Lacuna, like, that's the one that really. So I'm excited to hear Lacuna in Peace Talks and Battlegrounds. I'm really excited because one or the other, she's got a few more lines, because I think it's Battleground, because Lacuna's been taking care of Toot Toot. And Toot Toot's like so in love with her in the books. And I think it's Battleground. It could be Peace Talks, where, she's just like, I had to take the spikes out because he kept hurting himself on purpose. Yeah. Do you remember that? Yeah. So anyways, thrifting. Like, I've never even thought about doing it. People I work with do it. It's weird because I'm kind of on the fence how I feel about it. Like, if it was anybody else, I'd be like, you really probably shouldn't be doing the job position you are if you're a thrifter and a reseller.
Yeah.
But because of their like integrity, it would be like you or I doing it. It'd be like, yeah, you're not going to catch my integrity slipping because I don't believe in that.
Yeah.
But he divulged to me that he's actually a thrifter, and he goes to many different places, and he does do some half of it's for his collection, and then half of it he resells to get his collection.
Yeah.
And we just had a grand old day talking about what you find when you're thrifting. And we were laughing about, because there was in a box. Now, I don't think anybody else would have noticed it. It's just something I ran into a few times in moving and storage. And I was just like, oh, that's kind of an interesting thing to get donated. What is that? I'm like, this is somebody's cremated pet. This is like a pet urn.
Yeah.
And so then we had this big joke about having all this different spices, because apparently urns come in quite a bit. Vassals come in quite a bit. And so we were joking about setting up a spice cabinet full of people's remains. and then having them in like, like state jars or whatever, or in some kind of a notable vassal where you would know like, oh, that's somebody from Georgia, that's somebody from this. And so you could have a party and somebody like, oh, I love these seasonings. Yeah, I think it's Creole. He was from Louisiana. Or we were just cracking jokes about it because the reality is that most things you find in thrift stores are not people donating it because it's the goodness of their heart. It's because somebody's passed away. They don't have a use for it.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna throw this out there to the worldwide everybody. When you donate goods, when you donate clothing, do not donate your underpants. Throw them away. Same with your socks. Ugh.
Unless they're still in the bag and haven't been taken out yet.
They're
brand new.
You're used underpants and socks.
Yeah.
And for the love of God, if you're gonna donate pajamas or pants or shorts or anything, especially if you're a female, please make sure it doesn't have bloodstains on it, because it's just gross.
Or any other kind of bodily stain.
Yeah. Look, I've had at least 5 pairs of men's pants come in with poop in them. So I dried poop in them.
Yeah, I donated those yesterday.
I know you did, you dirty bitch. But anyways, so I'm like, I always forget to look at the books. And so I'm just like, oh, I'll have to go to a couple of different places to look, because like locally, if we have half price books in our state, and although they're great, it's just like, I have noticed that their prices of books are really been going up. And I think that might be because of minimum wage going up in our state.
Yeah, probably.
Because that's all half price books offers is minimum wage.
Yeah.
It doesn't, unless you're in a shift or a management position, that's all they offer. And, I don't know. I looked at a book that was, when I went there with Mommy. Hi, Mommy.
Hi, Mommy.
Mommy. When I went there with Mommy, I was actually looking at a book, and then I was really annoyed. I'm like, wait a minute. This book says its original cover price is $7.99. So it's not half price books because you're selling it for $5.99, and it's something that was from 5 years ago. What? Like, half price books literally translates to me, it's going to be at least half off.
Yeah. I mean, books from the 90s, those were $5.99, brand new.
Yeah.
For paperbacks.
Yeah.
Paperbacks.
I did not see any single book that sparked my interest, whether it was on the paperbacks or hardcover, and it was said $5, $7, $9, did not matter. Everything I saw was at least $5.
Mm-hmm.
And that's okay, because, people got to get paid and all that. But I'm like, I'm not going to pay $5 for a ratty copy of Odd Thomas that's stained up and stinks like onions. No, thank you. Because it was an Odd Thomas book. Mm. And its original price was like $7.99. So it was one of the first printings, and it was $5.99. I was just like, what? Mm. I'm like, but it's kind of interesting because it's also, apparently there's these Airbnb people who, they rent out their rooms or whatever for Airbnb. They're using thrift shops to completely renovate their homes.
Yeah.
And I think that's fantastic.
Yeah.
I think that was super great. There is a local realtor who comes in and she stages all her different homes, and she's been doing real estate for, I think she said, for about 4 years. And not local here, but local in Thurston County. How about that?
Okay.
And so anyway, she said, I was paying somebody, like we were paying them X amount of dollars to do it. She goes, but it's like when you need very little things because of the AI tools, she's like, you really don't need a whole lot to stage because you can use AI tools to show full houses. She goes, but just like little things like a side table and little pictures or whatever, just to draw people into the room or whatever. She goes, I budget myself $100 per house. I use what they've got. I'll use up to $100 more because she gets reimbursed for it. And she said, and then she goes, I've got a storage unit and I've got a little collection. She goes, so I don't have to hire an interior decorator to come in and make it feel a little more homey. She goes, I can just do it. Mm. She goes, it saves a ton of money. And, she goes, one thing she's saying was that one of her other friends was a realtor and they were starting to lease out items from her little collection. And I thought, that's freaking brilliant.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're talking about the fact that mostly what she's getting is like hanging mirrors, small side tables, which you can't find a lot of small side tables at like most thrift shops anymore because most of them quit taking furniture because of the hazards and the insurance stuff. But you're talking about like candelabras, decor, like table runners. Like I was amazed. I was just like, I never in a million years would have ever thought that if you were in that line of work, you wouldn't just hire somebody to do it. But doing it herself saves a ton of money. And now she's built this collection where she's just like, everything is separated by like, here are all the pictures, boom, and they're separated by like nature and family and like that. And then it's also separated by color. She's just like, yeah, she goes, I can rent it out. I'm like, really? She's like, yeah. She's just like $100 for a month. She goes, pays for my storage and I can buy more stuff. And I'm like, well, that's pretty interesting. So I'm like, thrift away, honey, thrift away. I mean, it's brilliant.
Yeah.
I mean, there are definitely things I would not buy at a thrift shop.
Yeah.
You know, underpants, used socks. No, thank you. I have a hard time with the idea of sheets.
Yeah.
What about you? Is there anything you wouldn't buy from a thrift shop?
I mean,
Underpants.
3/4 of the stuff that's in the thrift shop.
Well, of the stuff you use in life, if you found it in a thrift shop, would you potentially purchase it depending on quality, condition? What are your absolutely no way items in a thrift shop that you would never purchase no matter what the deal is?
I don't think I have yes,
Underpants?
socks and underwear. I don't think I have a hard, I don't know, buy this at a thrift shop other than those two things.
What about blankets or sheets? Are you just kind of on the fence about that?
I mean, I've slept in plenty of hotels, so it's nothing different.
You were going to say I've slept in plenty of hose.
Yeah. Also, I was in the military, so same difference.
You know what? I didn't even think about it being kind of like being in a hotel.
Yeah. So, yeah, it would be on a case-by-case basis. Look at the item and be like, there's no fucking way. Why did you put this out on the shelf? Because I've seen a lot of that.
Oh, holy crotch. Why are you on the floor?
Yeah. So, there's that.
I find it weird that there are ladies who actually come in looking for used underwear to save even more money. I'm like, we bring in brand new underpants at really affordable, $6 for a 3-pack. That's $2 a piece. Well, if you had it used, I could get them for $1 a piece. But that means somebody else's vajay has been on it.
Yeah.
Somebody else that I don't care how many times you watch it, if they got, then, I mean, come on.
Yeah.
But I just had a woman come in the other day looking for men's used boxer shorts. She was hoping to get 5 pairs for $1. Like, I don't know where you've been thrifting at, lady.
Crack house.
But yeah, I'm like, it throws me off a little bit because I'm like, what? But then there's other people I've seen come in. There was a lady behind me. So when I went thrifting, I was looking very specifically for 3 different things. I was looking for potential books, which I'm super excited. I got a few, which is fine. I was looking for shorts, which we're not supposed to wear, but we're allowed to wear because it's really hot. And I didn't find any shorts, but I did find some capris. And I'm like, oh shit, these are like brand new. Because we do see like brand new stuffs come into some of the thrift shops.
Yeah. And
I was just like, and I had a coupon, so that was like helpful. But even if not, I was just like, holy crap, these are normally like $70 jeans. Yeah. These are $70 capris. Holy shit. Yeah. Even if I only wear them 5 times in my lifetime, they've paid for themselves. They'll be still barely used, and somebody else can have them.
Yeah.
And then mugs, because mommy's talking about doing another mug mosaic class, like the piece I have in the kitchen.
Yeah.
And I found some really cool mugs, and I'm just like, oh, as soon as her house is done, her and I got to sit down in her garage and we're going to do some of these, because I found some really cool, like, nature scene ones. And so the one of them almost looks like it looks like sand on a beach, like that color.
Okay.
And then it's like 3 shades of blue, like an ombre blue. So it literally looks like you're just looking at a beach. And I'm like, oh my God, that would be super great. And I can already see the backgrounds and, just all kinds of neat stuff. And so those were my primaries. I was going to look for kitchen towels, but I'd already kind of looked earlier and just glanced earlier in the week and just decided I wasn't going to go over that section. Because, I didn't. But I'm super excited about the books. Now I'm like, oh man, I got to leave for work earlier so I can, look through the books more often, because it was funny. My coworkers was like, I think there's more of that Stephanie Meyer series there. I'm like, here's the thing with me and books. If I'm going to buy a series, they all need to be the same type. So if I buy one in a hardback, all of them have to be hardback. If I buy one of them in the large print, they all got to be that way. And we get plenty of them in. Trust me, we get plenty of them in.
Yeah.
We had a container come in maybe 2 weeks ago that had at least a dozen each of all of the Twilight Saga movies. And I was like, holy shit. But I didn't jump on it then because it didn't correlate in my brain that it was going to be about 50-50 of what you saw in the movies. So I was like, yeah, whatever. Anyways. But yeah, super excited to try out this Stephen Hawking book, because I think what it is that I think he's got all the science, all the physics and all that. And then his daughter, can you imagine if he was trying to write it and somebody was trying to translate it for him?
Yeah, I mean, they've had dictation devices for a long time, and effectively his translator thing is effectively a dictation device.
Yeah. There was somebody who helped them with it that basically acted as the dictation device, I believe. But I don't know. I think it's interesting because I'm wondering. I like I said, I never even knew that Stephen Hawking's put his knowledge into a child's book with anybody.
Yeah.
Which I think is a fantastic idea. But I'm also, like many other people in the world, kind of like, we need to evolve a little bit more mentally before we're going to find out anything new in this universe.
Yeah.
And whatever asshole sitting there ripping out that seam of reality, if you're going to go out and play, fix it for me and Dagda. Make life a little bit better, because
Yeah, that reminds me. I looked up so I remember years ago, I was talking to somebody about, how terrible generation whatever is. And I had found a quote from Socrates.
Okay.
And it goes like this. The children now love luxury. They have bad manners, contempt for authority. They show disrespect for elders and love chatter in place of exercise.
You know how many hundreds of years are going back to quote Socrates to have something that is 1,000% relevant to today?
It's like, this is like a over 2,000-year-old quote.
Yeah.
It's just to show you the more things change, the more they stay the same.
100%.
Yeah.
It's interesting because, so we recently did an episode about the Texas murder. Been in the news. I'm not giving that kid another inch of my breath. But when I put together the artwork for when it comes out, I put a disclaimer on there. Because people are going to be upset, because people they can't look at a big picture. Now, but I put a disclaimer out like, hey, this is our views and opinions from what we've seen and the court findings.
Yeah.
So you need to like listener and be advised, because we don't set out with the intent to piss anybody except for maybe Gen Z's off. But no, we really don't. We don't set out with the intent of pissing anybody off. We set out with the intent, like, we know there's millions and billions, not billions, well, maybe probably about 1 billion or 2 introverts out there, people who are very lonely and they just want to be part of a conversation, which they can happily do instead of stopping me when I'm out shopping and asking me questions. You guys can send us fan mail. You guys can hop on the old Facebook. You can send us a note. You can send us a note on any platform, Buzzsprout, Patreon, Spotify. You can send us notes all the time.
Yeah.
But it's so that people have something different that they can listen to, be a part of, and, hopefully they do understand they're not alone, because we do talk about mental health.
Yeah.
We June was officially, and I was this year's old, and I'm not gonna lie, because obviously not being a man, I don't have a penis. Shocking. I knew there was. I remember years and years ago there was a thing like Men's Mental Health Week, but now Men's Mental Health has an entire month. It's the month of June, And I think it gets overshadowed by Pride and Juneteenth. And, the reality is we should be celebrating all of this diversity, and we should be talking about mental health, and we should be talking about if you pay your own bills, it's okay to be gay or be straight or be whatever you want to be, but you just can't push it on another person.
Yeah.
And Juneteenth is your holiday, not mine. I mean, that's what people would say is I have no room to speak on it. So you speak on Juneteenth.
I don't care.
There you go.
Moving on.
But there's all these things that we should be talking about on a regular basis and be accepting of and respectful to on a daily basis. And it's there are some people in this world that literally they say this is a mental health struggle for me, this is a mental health issue to me, and they really don't have any of that. They're just using it to get attention. I think the ones we need to watch are the ones that you can see clearly something's wrong and they're like, I'm fine, I'm okay,
I'm fine.
Yeah.
Bleeding out my ass. Yeah,
bleeding out my butt.
It's normal.
Yeah, it's totally fine. But we're not. You have people who are going to take advantage of the mental health movement.
Yes.
And that pisses me off because I see it 3 days a week. I see it enough in one individual. I literally want to pull them inside and say, you give humans the worst fucking name ever.
Yeah.
Because you are a liar and you are a faker. And you are constantly lying and constantly faking. And how do I know? Because there's certain legal facts about certain legal things that just can't be plausible, possible, or happening with your lines of bullshit. Now, having said that, set that one person aside. So that's one person out of, let's say 40, 50 people I deal with
on a regular basis.
On a daily basis.
Okay.
It's probably 50 different people. So that means that statistic is what? It's 2% of the populace. Would be 2% if we did the math.
Sure, something like that.
It's around 2%. And so 2% of the people are going to be fakers, and you got to walk that line. But for everybody else who's really struggling with mental health and doesn't want to talk about it, come listen to us. I mean, we're fucking crazy. We don't care. Well, I'm crazy. You keep me saner. But that's the whole point, is having a platform where we can talk about these things. But it did feel very sad to me that I felt I had to put a disclaimer on there, knowing that people who are 18 years or older can access and see our stuff. And they needed to understand that I'm not going to bow to injustice. I'm not going to be that person. Yeah. I'm going to tell you, I watched the videos. I listened to the facts. I read the findings, and it's just like, you can't change your story 5 times and expect people to be on your side.
Yeah.
But anyways, thrifting. I say everybody should thrift away. Yeah, I don't want to be caught on that for just, it makes me angry. Somebody came into the shop the other day and was bitching about having to go up to Seattle. And all they wanted to do while they were in Seattle was they had tickets to go see one of the, some kind of event up there. I don't know.
The FIFA?
I don't think it was FIFA. I think it was a concert or something. Okay. Excuse me. And she was just like, this is ridiculous. She goes, I parked my car and a guy instantly walks over and leans up against my car and says, do you want me to watch your car for you? She's just like, no, I'm good. I have an alarm. He's just like, okay, because you never know what might happen to your car. She's like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah. And she starts to walk out the door. She goes, like, I'm the fucking queen of making the mayor of Seattle do anything right. Whose fucking idea is it to let them sit on the street, jerk off, get high, and get drunk? Who said that's okay? Because when I called the police on some guy jerking off of my car, they said it wasn't illegal and to ask him to not loiter by your car.
Indecent exposure isn't illegal in Seattle?
I don't know. But that's what she was told. That's what she said she was told. And I said, I have suspicions. I was like, but I personally don't give 2 rips of a snake's tail. I said, I think the mayor they have in there is too fundamentally far left and too fundamentally immature. I was like, this is the same mayor that said, oh, we're going to impose this millionaire's tax. If you don't like it, you can fucking move. Guess what? Within 24 hours of that law passing, they were gone. And you literally can track it from them leaving the state to the decline of Starbucks.
Yeah.
You can literally see it.
Yeah.
Statistically see it. And you've got that, and then you've got the whole thing where there's this missing millions of dollars, and they're part of the chair of the fund, and they don't know how. They're part of the financial chair of this fund or whatever. And literally the answer was, oh, I don't know. You'd have to ask somebody else a little more involved. I don't pay that much attention. Bitch, you're in a position of power. You need to pay attention to what's going on.
Yeah.
Something is shady in Seattle. I don't like it.
And there's something shady in almost every major city.
Yeah, we've got in Pierce County, we've got a very very interesting law enforcement problem, that's for sure. And I don't want to say anything more about that until they finish ruling on him, because he actually, and I'm not going to say his name.
Okay.
Because he actually is employing people, like literally having people listening to podcasts and news reports and searching, because he is suing everybody who besmirchifies his name before he has a day in court.
Mm.
And I'm just like, okay. And then we've got other scandals within our state. So it's just, I just want everybody to pull on their big boy and big girl panties and be an adult. All I want.
Is that too much to ask for? Apparently.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Oh, right. You know what? Vatarung needs to come around here. That's right. Anyways, so thrifting, you guys, you should go think about it for your book needs, because you can buy used from the library. You can buy used from like half price books. You can buy used online, but man, some of those online prices for used books is...
Yeah, sometimes it gets crazy. They're charging collector prices for books that are like, okay, this is just a regular book, dude.
Yeah, it's like, I don't think I want to pay $3,100 for the 17th press printing of Serial Mom or something. I just don't can't handle it. Anyways,
yeah.
So found some good finds. I'll let you know. I'll read the book. I'll be honest about it. But I'm fascinated at the idea of learning some like basic physics stuff.
Yeah.
Sorry, there's something in my eye.
Yeah.
I'm sure you can see me messing with it. I think I actually got a hair caught in my lashes. I don't know. Anyways, before I make it look worse and I end up having to be a pirate with a patch on. So yeah, those are my finds. I'm excited about it. Especially, I really am excited to read about Jeremy Renner's experience.
Of getting ran over.
Surviving getting ran over. And what's interesting is one of my coworkers, she was just like, where did you find that? I'm like, over in the books. She's just like, oh, I was like, yeah, he's my hall pass. She's like, I need like 70 different hall passes, but he's hot. And I'm like, yes, he is. Jeremy Renner is one of the, John Cusack, Jeremy Renner, like, just like that. And I don't know, John Cusack's looking a little worn hard. So it might switch to Jeremy Renner than John Cusack.
Okay.
Hotness. Everybody's got their fantasy celebrity.
Yeah.
I think you're like Jessica Alba and Veruca Balk.
I mean, that's not too far off. I would say Linda Carter and fucking Alyssa Milano.
Oh, definitely Alyssa Milano, but...
Those were my two first celebrity crushes.
Yeah, I can see it, Linda Carter. She's only like 6 inches taller than you. It's great.
She's only got 6 inches longer than you.
No, she's pretty relatively close to your height. I think she's your height or just slightly taller. You have to remember, she was wearing like 6-inch heels to make her look Amazonian.
Yeah.
Most people don't know who Linda Carter is unless they're an extra.
Yeah.
The original portrayal of Wonder Woman in televised entertainment.
In like the 70s.
That little spin she did with her head bob. Wonder Woman! Diana Prince. Although Gal Gadot does such a good job too.
Yeah.
That woman's had like 4 babies. And she's just like...
About to have some more.
You're like, I have 3 insemination services, gal.
Yeah.
Half Iranian, half quadroon babies. Yeah. That kid would come out with your mean mug face. That kid would come out with your stank face. Anyways, think about it. Keep up on the books. All that jazz. Thrift away. Have a good time. But we better call it a day.
Yep.
Have a good one, you guys.
Later.
Bye. Okay, everybody. That's all the time we have for today. So I want to thank you for stopping by to enjoy the conversation. We're glad you're here. And please share and share again and share some more.
And if you haven't already, subscribe. We'll be having another chat and another cup soon. We'll talk to you then. Look forward to seeing you.